Hello and welcome to In the Saddle with Dave and Daryl. I forget which episode number this is. We are doing two previews. We're doing the Dublin Racing Festival. We're doing the Saturday and the Sunday. This racing is unreal. It's always a decent festival anyway, but this year looks particularly good for me. We're going to kick off with the first race, obviously, 2 mile 6 for Nathaniel Lacey and Partner Solicitors. It's a 50k stable bonus for this. So if you go and win this race and win any race at Cheltenham, so there'll be no surprise to see quite a few runners in here and obviously plenty trying. I like these sort of races. I get really excited about staying novice hurdlers, stupidly so probably. But there's a few in here that I want to take on the fav with Gaillard du Mesnil because he's got a hood this time and he was fairly free the last day. I just think this sort of trip, if they don't go quick enough for him, he could end up running his race too soon, moves up a bit too much energy, and he might just not finish in the frame. Now, that sounds like a bit of a bold statement because he should be the best horse in the race, but that's the way that I'm reading it so far. And there's quite a few in here that I think are quite good. Shadow Rider for Willie Mullins is a massive price. Another one in a first-time hood. So it's kind of like what you're saying, Dave, you're going back and forth. But his first run was after a monster layoff, like the best part of a 3-year layoff. And he actually ran all right then. The next time he ran was against an absolute pish horse. But to my eye, he'd improved tons for that. I just think he's too big a price, shouldn't be 20s, and they're going to be carrying very few units. So he's going in, one of many that I'm sticking in my armoury to take on the fav in this. Holy Macapony goes in because already beaten Gaillard du Mesnil. You can completely and utterly draw a line through that last run because something wasn't right. So the fact that he was sent off fav for that race, a line's going to go through it. I think he just looks overpriced. Might be a bit of a forgotten horse. Strangely, I'm going to be sticking in the other Donnelly horse in here, Ganapathy. I'll talk about 2 mile speed for these staying hurdlers. I'm really interested to see this horse is stepping up now. He looks the last day when the Real Deal won that he was the one to take out the race. He looked like he was going to cruise it over him, looked like he was going to hack up. He just didn't have that last bit of finishing gear. In a 2 mile 6 race on slow ground, if he does stay, he's going to have that finishing kick, which will outdo these guys. So he's the third one in there. And just to really bolster things, I'm going to stick in Vanillier for Gavin Cromwell. I think he's another one that's just completely being overlooked in the prices. He's going to be carrying very few units. Even if the fav does place, there's 2 other spots up for grabs. So with those 4, I'm through the first leg and we could be onto a bumper payout. Daz, I've done it for you, mate. You don't need to speak.
Well, it's lucky we can't choose. It's lucky we can choose the same horses, isn't it? Otherwise, there'd be nothing left for me. Of course, you're through the first leg. Christ. Gaillard du Mesnil is going to go in for me. I am concerned about the hood, and I'm actually hoping that he doesn't stay. He runs 2-3, he drops back, goes to the Supreme. But Gaillard du Mesnil will go in here. Oh, Holy Macapony as well. Same reasons for you. Gentleman's Games in here for me, and Fakira, who stayed on really strongly behind Ashdale Bob last time. I think this extra distance will suit him. So those would be mine. Boyle.
Superb. And that does, like, just to reiterate, that is, I think that's a proper race. And with that bonus that's going into Cheltenham, there'll be lots of trying horses. This is going to be a good form lines for us going forward for when we do the older Cheltenham pools. Anyway, second race, Dublin Chase, Grade 1, Chacun Pour Soi, done.
Christ. Do you know what? I'm a little bit worried about Chacun Pour Soi. This is his third run for Willie Mullins. Honestly, mate, and he's a fragile horse. I don't think his time figures have not reflected how well he did in this race last year behind Min. I think Min can turn a form around with him on heavy ground. I really do. So Min's going in here. Do you know what? I might leave him out, Dave. I might leave Shaq on that. No, I can't. Look, I'll put Shaq on in, but I'm hoping he bombs out, and I think Min can reverse the form in this race.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I did consider doing the Riki too, but I just watched Chacun Pour Soi back this season. He looks absolutely bomb-proof. So unfortunately for you, mate, you've had a little bit of a wobble in the second race, but never mind. The wobbling's going back onto my foot. It's the Arkle after this, the Irish Arkle, Grade 1, decent-looking race. There's 9 runners at declaration stage, so fingers crossed that field holds up. We'll have 3 places up for grabs. Much like Willie Mullins has got hot pot in the first race, this is an even hotter pot, Energumene. I do like this horse. I just think he's better, well, potentially could be better over further. And I think this race, being an actual graded race, he hasn't really had to do anything up to now. I think he could, if he's going to be vulnerable, he could be vulnerable in here. Unaccepted is a horse that I will be putting in against him. Now, that's a little bit of a flyer I'm taking with him because he's obviously had some sort of niggle to not be seen since his debut, which was pretty impressive. He's a half brother to Greatfield. We know that horse likes to go out from the front. So him and Energumene will be jostling for position. I just think Unaccepted will be less inconvenienced by it than Energumene might be. I'm sticking with man like Felix de Gis. utter bizarre ride at Christmas, wasn't it? Like it was obscene the way that he was ridden at Christmas. But the stable was out a bit of form. I like Felix, and he's another one that if they go and force the issue with him, it could suit him. At the same time, though, that could, like all three of these could be ruining each other's chances. So I'm going to whack in one bonus Brucey one in there in case all three of them cut each other's throats off. Franco Deport's going in there for Willie Mullins. He did pick up the pieces in that Christmas race where Felix de Gea underwhelmed, but Willie Mullins has long talked about this horse as a nice chaser. He is only a 6-year-old. He's the baby of the group. I think he's slightly going under the radar a little bit. I think he's undervalued. And the fact that Energumene, Unaccepted, and Felix de Gea have only got one way of running, and that is hell for leather from the front, as far as I'm concerned. The three of them could easily cut each other off. And I think Franco Deport potentially could pick up the pieces if that happens. So Felix, Franco, and Unaccepted.
They left me with much again, mate. So you're taking the words out of my mouth really this week. I was going to put Felix de Gea in it. I was absolutely livid with him at Christmas. I could not believe my eyes to the ride he was given by Jack Kennedy. I hope he don't do the same thing again. I think like the likes of Embittered and Blackbow are borderline handicap. They're going to get decent handicap marks. So I think they're probably going to be kept out of the way here. Felix de Gea, Energumene should win. I do like Unaccepted, though. I quite like this horse last year, so he'll be going in for me. Not a massive fan of Captain Guinness or Darva Star. So those would be my three. Felix, Unaccepted, and Energumene. Energumene.
That's it, Energumene. So we're getting into the first handicap. This is normally where the slips start to come a little bit unstuck or start to look a little bit tricky. Good thing about Dublin Racing Festival is it's a better quality of handicap, so I do know most of the horses in these ones. We're going to get monster-sized fields as well. So I've prepared my slip that there's already been a couple of shocks. Probably going to go a little bit safer when it comes to... Yeah. Well, no. For this handicap chase, because there's so many runners in there, it's going to be a 16-plus runner handicap. There'll be 4 spots up for grabs. I am going to put a few selections in here, but not as many as you'd expect from me. Like percentage-wise, this is probably my lowest featured race.
We'll see.
I've got to stick in Tukas in. Eye-catching over Christmas. People are plotting him for a grand annual type horse. This race is worth a hell of a lot of money. I think Tukas should be there or thereabouts. Aramax for Gordon Elliott is going in as well. I just think the way that he won the last day suggests that he could step up again and probably get a quick fire double. He's only a 5-year-old. But with Aramax going in, Port Stanley has to go in with him. There's a £12 swing between the two of those. Port Stanley's got the first-time cheap pieces. He's only finished outside the first 3 once in his career. So Port Stanley's definitely in. And then the fourth and final selection I'll be putting in is the Shunter. Won the Great Wood. He's now going back over fences. I think his mark's just too light. He just sticks out like a sore thumb in a race like this. So they're my 4. I've left you a few, Daryl.
You've left me a couple, but you took Port Stanley. That's not very fair. That was my main talking horse. I haven't really done much talking about any horses so far, but he was my main talking horse, and you just said it all. The only issue with
sell him again, reiterate it, because I think Port Stanley could be quite a good thing in this.
Well, no, what I will say is the only issue he has got is he's probably got a £7 penalty with Robbie Power on his back, but cheap pieces should help now. Waver C is going to go in here just because I fancy him. No real reason, to be honest with you. Port Stanley, Cuppa, I can't say this, Dave. Cuppa commits.
Cappuccino or Cappuccino. Number 11.
Number 11. Number 11's going in, as well as the Fav and Tukas. So I haven't really got much to say about these horses, to be honest with you, because Irish handicaps are really not my cup of tea. Cuppa commits.
Oh, nice. Nicely played.
Hey, off the ginger head, that was.
So we've got the first handicap in there. We've had 3 grade 1s already in. Bang, let's just go back and get another grade 1. We've got the Chanel Farmer Irish Champion Hurdle. Honeysuckle, done. Move on.
Yeah, like I said to you earlier, I've been trying to take Honeysuckle on for about 3 hours studying this race, and I just couldn't seem to do it. So Honeysuckle, Petit Mouchoir are going to be the 2 for me.
Ooh, very nice.
Was a bit upset, Petit Mouchoir. Switch to Gordon Elliott. We'll see. Probably not, but.
Well, fair play. So if we've managed to survive this.
He's rock solid. He runs his race, doesn't he? Look, there's so many questions you've got to ask about all the other horses. I mean, Abacadabras, I don't think likes Leopardstown. Obviously, he's got an excuse for last time out, but I'm not overly thrilled about what he's done since the Supreme. Sam Ra, there's just no excuses for that run last time. Petit Mishra finished in front of him. Saudi Air needs to take a big step forward from that run at Christmas. I know he's entitled to, but it is a big ask to go and win this next time out. And Sharjah is so unreliable. Christ, he disappointed in this race last year after winning the Masters Hurdle. So, you know, it's not out of the question that Petit Mishra could nick this. Gonna get some stick for that, ain't I?
Well, who knows? You've got honeysuckle anyway, so you'll be all right. If we survive those first 5 legs, we've got a handicap hurdle to finish it up. This is a race that I'm very excited about, and I'm excited about quite a few at big prices. However, I'll do any syndicate members a massive favour by sticking in the Charlie Byrne horse, Advanced Virgo. He's won it the last 3 years on the spin. This horse went up £10 for its last handicap win, which everyone's probably going to say, oh, £10 rise, can't get past that. But he needed to go up at least £8 to even get in this race. 129 was the lowest runner in. So Advanced Virgo definitely goes in slip. He is going to be very well found, though. So we kind of want that one to get beat for the unit perspective. However, if there's been some shocks before, then this final leg, having the Fav in there might not be the worst thing. I'm actually going to stick in 3 more with him. The very man goes in for Gordon Elliott. His mark of 137, he can definitely win hurdles off of 137. The only thing I say about him is he can't jump very well. So hoping for a bit of luck with that one.
Jumping's the name of the game, Dave.
Well, jumping is the name of the game. So the third horse that's going in, and my second sort of backup for when the Fav maybe doesn't do his business, is another horse that can't really jump very well. So much so that he's reverted back from fences. It's Front View. But last year when he ran at Thurles behind 5 o'clock, he was very, very eye-catching, so much so that he got backed into Fav for the Martin Pipe at Cheltenham. Now, he jumped like a table there, didn't run particularly well, but he's off the same sort of mark again now, and I just feel like the form of that race, we mentioned one of the horses, well, you did, earlier about horses going for handicaps. Assemble is in behind, that's now a 144 horse. I just think his mark, like he's another one that should be capable of winning a handicap at some point off the mark. He's a big price. And then the last one that's going in there at probably a bit of a wild price is Tiger Tap Tap for Willie Mullins. Rich Reekie owned, only a 6-year-old. It's got some nice enough form on really bad ground. It's run at Christmas like it. I don't want to say that jockeys aren't riding out a finish, but he didn't ride out the finish on this horse, and he got mate, he got within 13. He could have finished a lot closer, and it's just that old little number. He's finished 6 out of 20 there. I reckon that they were giving him a spin ready for the spring or maybe for now. And he, like, if he wanted to, he could have gone a lot closer that day. No point in him coming second or third there and getting a few pound rise, but they looked after him to keep his mark at 132. He's still a massive price for a race like this. I just think he could be a little bit under the radar. And I mean, he really could be the key to an absolute monster payout. So 4 for me: Tiger Tap Tap, Charlie Byrne's Advanced Virgo, and the 2 horses that are basically 2 tables, the very man in Front View.
Claire de Beaufort is going to be the first one for me. Massive price, 25 to 1, effectively running off a career low mark here. Gavin Yako is going to be another one for Gavin Cromwell. Look, the angle going straight into a handicap after coming in from a grade 1, third time Bob Olinger last time. Yeah. Front View is a horse I've been a big fan of for a long time, so he'll be going in here as well. And Advanced Virgo, the fan, for the same reasons that you gave about the trainer winning it for the last 3 years. But I'll be honest with you, Dave, 6 of the last 10 winners of this have been double-figure prices, mate, and it is a lottery pick. So could get lucky, but you're going to need to be lucky this week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think the beautiful thing with this sort of stuff is it's graded races for the majority. So 4 of the 6 legs are top grade races. Not saying they shouldn't necessarily be easy to pick out, but they are a damn sight easier than picking apart some of the handicaps over in Ireland. The 2 handicaps are full of decent horses. We've made some fairly solid cases, I think, for horses at big, big prices as well. So I feel that there's enough reason for you to feel confident this week as well, mate. Obviously, people, if they want to join in, you can select to join my syndicate. I mean, do that. You can select to join Daryl's syndicate. I think maybe give him a little confidence boost because I think he's got a bit of a squeak. If you don't want to join in, you don't have to. That's fine. If you've got your own opinions, you can put your own solo tickets. You can create your own syndicates with your mates. But we'll be back again, whether you want it or not, for Sunday, day 2 at Dublin Racing Festival, where this was a 9 out of 10, which I'm going to nail. I am 10 out of 10 for Sunday. Like I've completed it.
Absolute nonsense. See you tomorrow.